Wow, what a ride. Oil prices are falling and likely will continue to do so. The markets are tumbling. Bonds are paying nothing. A second Ebola infection has just been announced in Dallas. We have the war with ISIS. What is going on? Hi, my name is Paul Carroll, the CEO and principal of Efficient Wealth Management, a boutique wealth management firm based here in the Woodlands, Texas. So really, what's going on and what can, if anything, be done? First and foremost, it's important to stay grounded. We know through history that this type of thing happens again and again and again. What's going on with oil prices? Right now, oil prices are subject to a number of different forces that are all working in concert to really drive the price down, and likely will continue to do so. And this is something that's important to understand if you're in the energy industry or even the airline industry, as both are substantially affected and impacted by what's going on now. Oil prices are subject to a very deliberate policy of both the United States and Saudi Arabia to apply pressure on Russia and Iran. There's a war going on in the Ukraine, and we're trying to stop this by pressuring the Russian government with both sanctions and a low export price on our energy. This results in a lot of internal pressure. We're already seeing this pressure bearing fruit because the Russians have talked about moving troops out of the Ukraine and about 15 miles from the border. We haven't won the end game here, but we can tell the Russians are feeling the pain. There's a softening going on in the global economies, and that's for a number of reasons. There's a lot of instability. The Europeans really have not acted as aggressively as they should have after the big crisis in 2008, and you can only go so far with the policies they have in place. We also have, affecting both oil and the economies, new supply technologies. And there's two types of technologies that are kicking in. One is production technologies. The fracking boom in the United States has practically eliminated the need for imports. So when the world's biggest consumer starts exporting certain types of oil, that changes the dynamics globally. But there's also another source of supply, and that is efficiency. And that's something that's off everyone's radar. In my office right now, I'm lighting my quote-unquote mini studio with fluorescent lights. Fluorescent technology, LED technology, wind generation, new power generation, substitution effects are also pushing down the value of energy. What is the effect of everything that's going on? For people in the energy industry, there's a lot of fear. There will always be a need for energy. There will always be a rebalancing of supply and demand. For consumers, it's actually a tax cut. It's, in effect, it's money in their pocket. So this is not necessarily a bad thing for the consumers of the world, including the United States. The Dow tumbled 450 points today by lunch. Should we be scared? We know that this is storm season. September, October, November is when this kind of stuff happens. That doesn't mean we shouldn't be concerned and we shouldn't have our attention appropriately engaged. But this is by no means unexpected. The market has gone up for 5 years straight. We've seen one of the greatest bull markets actually in the U.S. history. It had to end. Does it mean it's a catastrophe? It doesn't mean that. It just means the party's over. There's a lot of uncertainty going forward, though. We don't know if we're going to see a general flat line in the markets or if we're going to see a very sudden correction. Let's take the second option. If we see a sudden correction, that's not necessarily a terrible thing, especially for those clients who are still saving. The less you pay for inventory, the better. Clients who are retired probably don't see things the same way, and that makes sense, of course. But for those clients, what we've done is set up a basket methodology, a cash bucket, plus additional short-term bonds, so that you shouldn't have to touch that part of your portfolio that's being affected for as long as 3, 5, or even more. If you don't have to touch your portfolio for 5 to 7 years, then yeah, we care, but this doesn't blow the plan apart. And we need to remember that. What about the election? The election is another source of uncertainty. Yeah, I had a conversation last week with a few of our clients at dinner, and we talked about the Iowa electronic markets. They're pricing in a 70% probability that the Republicans will take control of both the Senate and the House. The probability that the Democrats will take control of both is less than 1%. It doesn't matter what your politics are. The fact of the matter is that's already priced into the market. So if this happens, it probably won't change anything. What moves markets? Uncertainty and surprises. So we really can't expect the election to do a whole lot in good or bad terms for the market because those outcomes are pretty much priced in. Now, it gets down to the question of what are we doing as investors? We don't make money holding on to equities over time and rebalancing portfolios because of the grace of God or the markets. We make money because we have absorbed risk. And this is what we're getting paid for. And this is important. If you can't take what's going on today, then it means the risk tolerance is not appropriate for the client. Rebalancing in this environment is the appropriate action. Now, we don't have to rebalance daily. We can wait and let the dust settle. But rebalancing at a repriced market is how we get that efficient frontier to give us the most efficient amount of return for a given level of risk. We're going to do that. We're going to stay engaged. I've sent this video out because I want you to know we're not putting our head in the sand. If you need to talk to someone, please give us a call. Let us know. We can talk you through our concerns and the outcome and the asset allocation. But there's nothing here that is particularly surprising. That doesn't mean I'm having fun. As the coach, as the person who's here to be big mistake insurance, this is where I get to earn my juice. And like you, it's not always fun. But it is what we do. Big mistake insurance is what we provide. Call us before allowing your emotions to hijack your decision making. That doesn't mean it's not appropriate to make changes or to change your risk tolerance. It does mean we need to think through what happens next. And we're here to help you with that process. I'm heading out of town for just 2 days, but there will be people in the office. Probably by the time you get this, I'll be practically on my way back. Don't worry. We're going to get through this. And in the meantime, I wish you the best of success. Thank you.